Let's be honest, we're all feeling the pinch of Australia's housing crisis. But what if the answer isn't just about building more houses, but about building them way smarter and a whole lot faster? Well, today we're going to dig into a really bold proposal that aims to do exactly that. It's called the Emergency Housing Acceleration Package, or EHAP for short. So let's start with a question that, honestly, is enough to make your head spin. How is it possible that it can take up to 2 whole years to get a new housing project approved? I mean, right now, developers can get tangled up in this bureaucratic maze for 24 months. And you know that delay doesn't just slow things down, it adds massive costs that, you guessed it, get passed straight on to you, whether you're buying or renting. The EHAP proposal says this isn't just a bottleneck, it's a fundamental part of the problem we need to fix. Okay, so how does EHAP plan to fix this? This is where you can really see the night and day difference. On the left, you've got the current system. It's slow, it's reactive. An applicant has to spend years and a ton of money on all these separate reports for traffic, noise, heritage, you name it. But look at the EHAP proposal on the right. It's a proactive, 60-day process. The idea is for the council to do all that strategic work up front, creating a clear public rulebook for an entire area. Then all the applicant has to do is design a building that follows the rules. It's a total flip of the script. To really wrap our heads around this, here's our game plan. First, we'll set the scene and talk about the housing emergency. Then, we'll get into the core philosophy behind this whole thing, which is called the path of least resistance. After that, we're diving deep into the nuts and bolts of the 60-day digital pathway. Then, we'll look at how it plans to get us building faster and smarter. And finally, we'll get to what we all want to know, the bottom line. What does this actually mean for the cost of a home? All right, first up, the emergency. The proposal doesn't mince words here. It basically argues that the current federal policies, like the Housing Australia Future Fund, are just too slow. They're not delivering homes at the scale or speed we actually need. EHAP is being put forward as a direct, actionable plan that could start making a difference right now. So, what's the big idea that's driving all of this? Well, it's a philosophy the policy calls the path of least resistance. And this isn't just about speed for speed's sake. It's about trying to fundamentally shift how the market thinks and behaves. And really, this one sentence says it all. The entire policy is built on this idea. Instead of trying to fight against the market, EHAP wants to guide it. The thinking is, if you make the process for building compliant, affordable housing incredibly fast, incredibly simple, and way cheaper, then it just becomes the most logical and profitable choice for developers to make. Simple as that. So how do you actually make building affordable housing the easy option? This brings us to the real engine room of the policy, the 60-day digital pathway. This is where all that red tape is supposed to get shredded. What's really crucial here is how the roles completely flip. You can see it in this table. Councils would go from being these reactive gatekeepers, looking at every single project from square one, to being proactive city planners. They'd use federal funds to create a detailed digital master plan. Think of it like a 3D model that sets all the rules for an area up front. And the applicant's job? It's no longer about drowning in paperwork. It's just about proving that their design fits into that public rulebook. Okay, so this new relationship means the process gets way, way simpler. Just 4 steps. Step 1, an architect just looks at the public digital plans. Step 2, they upload their design and an automated system checks it instantly. And that's when the 60-day clock starts ticking. Step 3, a council officer does a final high-level check. And step 4, a decision is made by day 60. See? It's not about opinions anymore. It's about objectively verifying that the rules were followed. And here's the kicker, the guarantee. To make sure that 60-day timeline is for real, the policy has what's called a deemed approval clause. Basically, if a council doesn't make a decision in time, the project is automatically approved. No ifs, ands, or buts. This is huge because it takes politics and administrative logjams out of the equation and gives developers absolute certainty. Okay, so getting an approval in 60 days is a massive leap forward. But that's really only half the battle, right? What about actually putting up the building? Well, this part of the proposal is all about speeding up the physical construction of these affordable homes. The plan here is to use very specific subsidies. And as you can see, this is only for affordable housing projects. So if developers use fast, modern, and climate-friendly building methods, like modular construction or even 3D printing, they can get a pretty significant subsidy for each unit. It's a direct cash incentive to innovate. And on top of all that, there's another little incentive, a $5,000 fast-track bonus. This gets paid out for every single affordable unit where construction starts within 60 days of getting that new super-fast approval. It's all about building momentum and rewarding speed. So let's get to the question we've all been waiting for. After all these reforms and all these subsidies, what does it all actually add up to? What is the bottom line for the cost of a home? Now, what's smart about this policy is that it's designed to be flexible. This chart shows the projected final cost for one of these homes, and it recognizes that, obviously, there's a huge difference between building in Sydney or Melbourne versus a regional town. This way, the plan can hopefully deliver fair results no matter where you are in the country. But this right here, this is the headline number. This is the big one. The proposal projects that when you combine everything, the slashed red tape, the waived fees, the targeted subsidies, it all adds up to a net cost reduction of up to $150,000 for every single affordable home built through this program. I mean, that is a staggering figure that cuts right to the heart of the affordability crisis. And that really brings us to the final big question. The EHAP proposal is making a pretty bold claim here. It's saying that the biggest barrier to affordable housing isn't a lack of money or a lack of land, but a broken, outdated process. The argument is that by radically simplifying the system and making affordable housing the easiest path for everyone involved, we can finally unlock the supply we so desperately need. Definitely a provocative thought to end on.